Hi everybody, hello and welcome. Today I'm just going to show you how I cut and arrange and whatever my flowers down the side. And the main reason I'm doing this is the live on Sundays where we're doing the Easy Peasy journal, the blue one and the Tim Holtz one. I thought I'd shown you how to do this, and when I look back I actually haven't. I obviously am truly going bonkers. So this is a correspondence folio, but it has a similar arrangement of flowers here, so you can see what I've done. This correspondence folio is now finished. It's bursting at the seams with birdies. Look at them, aren't they gorgeous? So that's the little collage for the front. This flips over and this gets a little die cut arrangement. Now, the base of it, I use some lace. This is quite thin lace. It's not really super thin, but it's for crochet lace, it's very thin. And that's going to go there. I've got two of these. These are from the Wildflower, Tim Holtz with Sizzix Wildflower dies. And I want one about there and another one slightly taller, about there. And then I've cut the daisy, which much overworked in my toolkit. I use the daisy a lot. I love it. And that's going to go about there. Now what I also want to do is put a little sort of hemp bow over them. And once I've sewn this, I'm not sewing it. Once I glue the lace down, it's really difficult to get the twine underneath. So it's a good idea to put your twine in either while your glue's still wet or before you even start. So I've got my twine, it's a double length and it's just enough to make a bow with. So that we've got to colour all the things and blah loads of stuff to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is stick this down, and I'm going to use my collal for that. I've used mine's straight on one side and not on the other, and I've used the straight side to go against the straight side of here. This is rounded, so I've got the more fancy edge on that side. So it's just going to go down the middle. So just pop my glue on. You can always come back in with more if you need to. This dries clear, but it does dry shiny, so I don't want masses if I don't need masses. So just hold that firmly, but not pulling it, just hold it firmly. Place it where you want it to be, which is about there, I think. That looks about straight there. And press it down. And then before it gets any ideas of drying, pop your lace, your hemp cord in where you want it to be, which is about there, I think. Maybe I should have put this on a needle, might have been a better idea. No, I think we're alright. Then I can bring it out of that largish hole there. It's a bit fiddly, it's a bit gluey, but it's kind of worth it in the end. So let's just pull that through. So we've got it halfway, something like that. Yeah, that's fine. So stick that down, stick everything down. I think that's fine. And I'm just going to trim the ends off, the surplus bit. So I'm just going to turn it this way. I've got so much stuff on my desk, and trim that off. Like so. And we might need to come back and put just a little bit of glue just around, just at the end. I don't want to catch my hemp in that. That would rather defeat the object of the exercise. There we are. So let's have a look and see. Still got our hemp. We haven't done that. Yeah, I might just put a little bit of glue just under these ends that are a bit loose, because otherwise they fray and I don't like the look of them when they're free. There we go. Right. So let's just get the Timmy towel in action and just make sure they are stuck down, not seeping. Oh, that sounds like a wound. Seeping. There we are. That's fine. That's good. So now we can move on to the more exciting bits. So I need to colour my flowers. And I really, honestly, haven't decided what colour I'm going to make my flowers. Truth be known. The daisy, that's fairly easy. You need a sort of green. I'm just going to use, I'll use the brush side, it's easier. These ones have got a brush one end and a fine line the other. But using the brush is a bit easier, you get a thicker line. So I'm just going round sort of the underneath part of the leaves, down the stem, along there. These are particularly juicy markers. I've just got them, Mr. F got them for me in a job lot of stuff somebody was selling. I've got any water in, a little bit. So now, then I'm going to take my water brush, go down there, and where I've put the dark at the bottom of the leaves, I'm just going to go into that and pick it up on the water brush and drag it out a little bit. So you get kind of like a shadow. So into the bit that we've just put down, the dark colour, and then spread that out on the rest of the leaf. And you get that sort of nice coloration. So into the dark bit, up into the bit you haven't coloured at all. And the addition of the water to the markers just softens it and allows you to move it around like that. I'll just carry on down my stem because it's got a lot of colour on it, a bit too much. And then the same with this bottom one here, into where you've got your colour, and drag it into the bits that's got no colour on them. So you get a lighter green. And that's all we need to do with that one. Right. I'll just clean that green. All the glues want to get in on the act. Clean that green off my pen. And then I shade my daisy. And for that I use grey, and I'm hoping this is going to be a suitable grey. Oh well, time will tell. And I just kind of go around it, oh yeah, it's a nice grey, but I need the brush end. Just touching various bits of it. Generally kind of what you would think would be the underside of the petals. So down here, down there. Down here, and then I'm moving over to the other side of the petals as we come round the top, a little bit on the end, there we are. So it looks shocking when it's like that, it looks awful. You think, what have you done, you silly woman? But then we do what we did with the leaves. We go, just make sure you haven't got any green left, that's not good. Go into the colour that you've put down and just drag it. So you'll get rid of that harsh line that you put down because you're doing little circles into it and you're just pulling it up to the centre. So you can see what I'm doing, just like that. All the way around. So we're getting rid of those harsh lines, but we are leaving a bit of shading on the daisy. Like that. And eventually it'll start to look more daisy-like, hopefully. So I'm working into the ink that I put down and just dragging it over the daisy, over the petal. That one I'm going to leave a bit darker. You can leave some darker. This is beginning to dry now, dry into the paper, which isn't what I wanted. You might find it easier if you do half and half, which is what I should have done. Do half and work them out before you come do the whole flower. So anyway, that's that. Looks quite nice. If you've got a paintbrush to hand, have I got a paintbrush to hand? I've got a thick one, that'll do. I'm just going to put some water on my paintbrush. Moisten dampen the bristles of your paintbrush. And I'm just going to come in and take some of that colour off. And you need a paintbrush to be able to do this, to be honest. A water pen won't really do it because it hasn't got bristles. It's got plastic bits. So I'm just picking up some of that colour. It's not, you don't need to. There we go. Right, so now we're into the centre of the flower. I'm just going to give that a quick waft because I don't want the paint running, the inks running into each other. That should be fine there now. So I'm going to do the centre in yellow, nice bright yellow. So that's that. Very nice. And then I'm going to go into a brown. This is quite a dark brown actually. Might be a bit too dark. Let's have a look and see what else I've got in the brown department. That. It's not quite so dark. That one, what's that? Yeah, let's try that. Just use what you've got. If you've got colouring pencils, whatever you've got, just use that. Yeah, that's fine. And I'm just going to dab, 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 dab around the side. Just like that. Dab, dab, dab. In that shape. In that sort of C shape, like that. And then I'm going to get my very dark brown. And I'm just going to just put a few little dabs around there. And you end up with something that looks kind of like that. Okay, so that's that. Right, so the next thing is what colour am I going to make these? That's a really good question. It's got to go on here and it's got to sort of match this somehow. They could be yellow, they would stand out quite nicely. The other colours that I thought were this teal, which I thought would go nicely with that. I also got purple out. I've no idea why. I don't know why I got purple out. Well, let's put them to one side. Let me just see if I've got some watercolour paper somewhere. Yeah, here. See what colour this is. Oh, it's nice, isn't it? Yeah, I might use that actually. I like that. So this is a Jane Davenport one, and it's called Byron Bay. I think she did a sort of series of under the water mermaid type things, and I think this was probably part of that series. Now I'm not shading this at all, I'm just covering it. It's kind of too small to shade really, and we just want it for that lovely pop of colour at the back. I must say there's a lot of ink comes out. I imagine it's quite difficult to control if you're colouring or whatever, but it would be fabulous if you just wanted to put some ink down, add some water to it and go all smushy on it. That would be nice. Right, so that's that one. I hope this is going to look alright. If not, we'll have to cut some more. I'm just going to pick up some of that ink. Can't bear to think of it going to waste. It's so nice. So this correspondence folio has been spoken for. If you want a correspondence folio of your own to keep or gift or whatever, then just get in touch with me and we'll sort it out. There's no obligation to buy just because you contact me, I can tell you that. We'll just talk about it. Nearly there. There we go, lovely. Oh, I like those Jane Davenport ones, they're nice. Right, so let me just clean my media mat up, and then, oh, I've got some bits missing on there. You can see when they dry the bits I've missed. Ooh, look at that big splotch that came out. This is what I'm saying, I think these would be difficult to control. But fortunately we don't need too much control. Look at that massive splodge of ink that came out. Maybe that's why someone was selling them. Just couldn't control them. And I can see it would be difficult. Right, I think that's not too bad. Let's just move them. Oh, I didn't really want to move it to there, but never mind. Move that to there. Move this to here. Just give this a little bit of a clean up because it's a bit of a mess. I must bear these in mind when I'm making backgrounds, because I think that might be the forte background. There we go. Right, so I'll give those a quick blast and then we can get to construction. Oh well, embossing. Yeah, need to emboss, which is really what brings the daisy to life, to be honest with you. So I'm just going to dry these. Join me in a sec. Okay, we're dried and we're sorted, so let's have a look at putting this composition together. We wanted one sort of quite low down, like that, relatively low down. We wanted another one right at the top, like that, and then the daisy about there. So that's going to be our composition. I like the teal. I do like the teal. It's quite bright, but it does pick up on this. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So we need to get sticking, really. So we'll stick them one at a time. I don't know which to use. I'm going to use my Collall, I think, because it tends to stick to fabric better. There's a lot of little bits, and I'll just do my best. It's all I can do. Okay, so we know we want that to come to about there. Right, let's get the Timmy towel out because my hands are gluey. This might be easier if we did it this way. Yes, no, oh, a little bit maybe, not much. Right, let's make sure we've stuck down all we can stick down. Certain bits like that bit that I think are just not going to stick because they're coming off the... Oh no, no, it's sticking. I'm speaking out of school. Right, yeah, happy with that. That's good. So now on to the next one. Oh, that's all right. I tend not to emboss these parts anyway. The feathery bits that go up the back, I don't usually emboss these. You can, of course, but I tend not to. Just exaggerates the daisy then that is embossed, which I like, and puts these more so into the background really. Right, there we are. So we want this one quite high up, like that. That's perfect there. So let's get the Timmy towel out again and squish. Oh, it is awkward with this lace, I can tell you. I think once it's stuck with a collal, it will be stuck, so I'm not worried about that. I just want as many of these sort of little petally bits to stick as I possibly can. There we are, I think that's okay. Right, so now let's emboss the daisy. And for that, I'm going to be using the Seth Apter, what's it called? Baked, what's it called? Oh my goodness, I can't remember what it's called. I don't know. And my Distress Embossing Dabber. You've seen me use this before. It's just a sponge top. Mine's a bit raggy now. And it delivers the embossing glaze straight to wherever you want it. Now it can pull the ink around a little bit, so just go steady with it. I'm not so sure there's too much coming out of here actually. I don't think there's very much coming out. Just give it a good shake. I'll give it a try. If it doesn't work, I have contingencies. Right, let's see if we can get, if the vintage beeswax, that's it, it's just come back to me. Let's just put that on the other side, otherwise you end up with a load of, oh, it's yesterday's tulip. So I've got a massive bag of this now that Peg sent me, which I'm really grateful for. So I'm just finishing off the stuff that I'd been hoarding because I didn't want to use it all. Because this vintage beeswax, I tell you just can't get it in this country. It's like impossible. Yeah, that embossing dabber, I don't think it's the greatest. or it's not in the mood to work today. It's probably nearer the mark. But I'll blast this off and then use something else. So move your pot with your embossing powder well away, otherwise you'll turn it all to plastic. And this vintage beeswax does take slightly longer than normal embossing powders to go, but it is lovely when it does go. That's it. Lovely. That's lovely. You know what? I don't think I need anything more on that. It's gorgeous. Yeah, let's put the lid on that and call it done. That's really nice. Pretty. Pretty but vintagey, which is kind of what we're always after. Right, so let's bring this in again. So that's going to go about there, because I want that leaf just above the bow. So yeah, I'm going to stick that there. Isn't that pretty? Let me hold it up so you can see. Just so vintagey. So is that cooled down? Yep, pretty much. So we need to glue this down now. So I'm just sort of flattening it out gently. I'm really pleased with that. Looks lovely. These are sometimes a bit reluctant to stick because they're quite rigid once they get that layer of plastic on and it's cooled down. But stick it will, one way or the other. There we go. Right. Come on, my beauty. There we go. Actually, this one isn't being too bad at all. It's plain ball. Just make sure you've got all the petals stuck down. Right, and then you can tie your bow. Which just finishes it off nicely, I think. Yeah, I thought it was all going too well. You know that I can't tie a bow on camera. It's just like one of those things. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Hang on, that's nearly a bow. Let's just pull those ends just a bit. I don't know where my ends have gone. Oh no, I've lost them. Right, okay. Ah yes, that's it. I didn't cut it in half, did I? So that's my end, but I hadn't cut it in half. So I'm going to cut that in half now. Just pull that in a little bit, just a bit on the big side. Pull these ends in as well. See if I can get all the ends down there. There's my bow. Very nice. There's that. Yeah, pleased. So let's shut that up and say, oh, look at that. Doesn't that look nice? I think so anyway. So there's our daisy. See, it's turned out really vintagey. That's Seth Apter vintage beeswax is the bomb. I'm telling you, it's fabulous. I love it. So there we have it. I'm glad that I chose turquoise for those. It just fits in so nicely with that. So you can adapt that to any colours that you've got, and it's the same principle when you do your daisy. Instead of using grey that I've used to shade it, you could use any colour that you want to go with your project. I just like them all when they're this colour. They look like they're white but vintaged, and that's, you know, that suits me. That's what I'm after. So that's just a quick little lesson in how I do that. So now hopefully those of you that are doing the easy peasy can get on and get the cover made. I'm so sorry about that I didn't show you. And those of you that are doing a correspondence folio, this is what goes on the front. So thanks for joining for this little quickie, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.